In this series called Lost Mine of Phandelver Villains, I'll talk about every bad guy in this adventure, so be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon if you don't want to miss anything. There's one feature that it seems to me everyone forgets about or simply ignores. The Cragmaw tribe is so named because each member of the tribe sharpens its teeth so they appear fierce and jagged. There's a variety of ways to display that. A captured goblin can be able to chew off the rope tie in his hands, a goblin can bite his grappler, giving himself an advantage on a roll to break free, or the goblins can simply show off their teeth in combat, hoping it would affect the morale of their enemies. Let's try and gather some more lore about these guys and their leaders. You're watching Lutes and Dice, and I'm your bard, Volkart. The Cragmaw tribe consists of marauding bands and rival goblin holds scattered throughout the region of Tribal Trail and Neverwinter Wood. However, one chieftain is grudgingly recognized by all others as supreme, King Grol of Cragmaw Castle. In these couple of videos, I'm going to talk about every notable figure of this tribe in descending order, starting with the king. King Grol is a fierce old bugbear. He rules the Cragmaws through pure intimidation. Age has stooped his shoulders and hunched his back, but he remains surprisingly agile and strong. He is demanding and vindictive, and no Cragmaw dares to cross him. Given that Grol managed to live to his years in a society like that and retain his position as a king, makes me think he's also very smart. That is something to be considered in social encounters with him. The players should have a really hard time intimidating, persuading, or deceiving him, basically bargaining anything in their favor. This can be the first time somebody demanded something from him. At the very least, he will use hostage Gundren as a lever. A couple of times my players were way too bold, and Grol had to kill Gundren. You shouldn't be afraid to do that if that's what you feel Grol would do in a given situation. The bugbear doesn't necessarily want to kill him right away though, because he was just in the middle of selling him to the messenger of the Black Spider, a doppelganger of Viorith. If he can deal with the characters right now, he can go back to business, and more than that, he'll probably have several new items on the menu, the characters themselves. If they had to do something with Gundren, maybe the Black Spider will be willing to pay for them alive too. The entire Cragmaw castle, if run properly, seems to be really hard to bluntly storm. Unless the PCs stealthily infiltrate the castle, and if the goblins are not complete idiots, the PCs are likely to be overwhelmed by an alarmed forces. There are around 18 goblins, 6 hobgoblins, and the king with his wolf snarl. The book suggests which goblins hear the sound of a commotion in a particular area, but it seems unlikely that they don't have any alarm system in case somebody comes in and starts killing them off. They can use backdoors to surround the players from the rear. It's their home, they know the place. So if things get messy for the players, as I was saying, the goblins don't need to kill them. They will more likely capture them to deliver to their king. If he won't be able to sell them, they will at least make good slaves, or a good sacrifice for Maglubiad, which we'll talk about in a minute. To summarize, King Grol is an old veteran. He is slightly stooped, but his eyes sparkle with intimidating intelligence, unusual for his kind. His wolf snarl is an outstanding, fearsome beast, wearing as much scars as his master, snarling thunderously in anticipation of battle. More than a few bands of goblinoids throughout the entire Neverwinter Wood follow this bugbear, so make him look like that kind of leader. In an intense and desperate situation, have him intimidate the players with some believable threats, from a simple one, like releasing an owlbear from the southern tower, to a sworn promise to gather all the war bands in the region and march on Phandalin to drown it in blood. He can lie if he needs to. Goblins, bugbears, and hobgoblins all worshipped different gods in the past. But then came Maglubiad and conquered those gods, uniting the three races and turning them into one people. Maglubiad's holy symbol is a headsman's axe. In war camps, goblinoids have a block upon which an axe is blessed by feeding it the lifeblood of conquered foes, or goblinoids that neglect their duties. The bugbears like to hang severed heads around the block, or impale them on spikes, their eyelids removed and mouths open. Considering the chieftain of Cragmaw tribe is a bugbear, he could pursue that tradition at Cragmaw Castle. When players find Lupo in his shrine, unaware of an intrusion, he can be in the middle of a sacrifice, ready to behead a disobedient goblin or a captured human. He mutters a prayer to Maglubiad while one of his acolytes is preparing to drop an axe on a poor lad's neck. Now, while an axe is a traditional way to perform these rituals, the Cragmaws might have their own taste. Lupo has this very interesting pet, a Grick. What if that thing actually serves as a decapitating tool? Otherwise, the Grick doesn't really have any particularly cool role in the castle. Now, imagine a victim being put to their knees by an acolyte in front of the altar, an incomprehensible chanting bouncing about the stone walls, and then something drops off the ceiling in the dark, something alive. Its dark form slides heavily across the floor until the moonlight from the arrow slits catches its horrifying gaping maw, the last thing they will ever see. Something like that will bring character to the whole shrine concept. And if you're really mad at your PCs for some reason, that thing could happen to them. Tell me about your experience with these villains, share your D&D stories, ask questions, and I will definitely answer them. And of course, there's more to come, so stay tuned for the next video. If you enjoyed the video, smash that button below, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. These are the names of my Patreons. I'd like to thank them so much for supporting Lutes and Dice. This really makes a difference. If you want to join me and these guys, follow the link you see on the screen and become a part of a community. You will also get sweet little benefits. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.